Hello and welcome to a bumpy road in the middle of nowhere. I'm in a Toyota Fortuner and it's not exactly a new car. In fact, it's been on the market for over a year now. But it's such an important car. It sells really well. It outsells everything in its segment combined. So we wanted to get to know it better. We've spent the last month taking it on family holidays, road trips, and of course, in and around Cape Town. And here's what we've learned. So let's start with some sales trivia. This is the top of the range 4x4 2.8 GD-6 auto model. It costs 617,900 Rand, and that's about 200,000 Rand more than the cheapest Toyota Fortuner. But this model outsells all the rest. More people buy this top of the range model than any other car in the lineup. So what's drawing people to it? Well, for starters, it is pretty luxurious in here. Toyota have done a good job with the interior. It feels really premium. And there is this really good new engine under the bonnet. It's a 2.8 litre turbo diesel, a 4-cylinder. It's got 130 kilowatts, 450 newton meters. It will tow a 3-ton braked trailer, and it's actually not too bad on fuel. We're averaging under 10 liters to the 100. And you can probably do a lot better if you chose to drive in eco mode a bit more. And then of course there is this car's off-road capability. It's a full 4x4 and it's very easy to select 4x4 modes. There's now just a little rotating knob on the dashboard. You can easily go from 4x2 to 4x4 low or 4x4 high. And there is a rear center diff lock. So it feels pretty unstoppable off the tarmac. We've taken it on some sand, we've taken it off-roading, and it really just about handles everything you can throw at it. And I think potential Fortuner owners are actually interested in getting their cars dirty. They're interested in tackling long gravel roads and off-roading and tuning, that sort of thing. So I feel like they really appreciate that added capability. So what's it like to drive? Well, this is where the Fortuner falls down a little bit for me, and that's in the ride quality and ride comfort. It doesn't handle bumps and ruts quite as well as cars like the Ford Everest does. I remember when we drove the cars back to back last year, that really was something that stood out on both bumpy tar roads and gravel roads. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm uncomfortable, but the car is a little bit jittery, perhaps is the best way to describe it. Something the Fortuner is very good at is cruising. Once up to highway speed, you just bang it on cruise control and the engine sort of settles into this very relaxed gait, and it just feels very comfortable, very easy to do long distances. And with an 80-litre tank and a fuel consumption that runs at about under 10 litres per 100, that means you should be able to do about 800 kilometers between fill-ups. So that's easy Joburg to Durban. The thing about this car being so sort of cruise orientated is it makes the fact that there are flappy pedals behind the steering wheel seem really odd. But let's see how those do. There we go. Oh, that is a very slow response time. Back into third. Okay, here I'm going to change into fourth and let's see when it actually changes gear. Click. And there's the gear change. That's not good. Okay, so we don't really need flappy pedals in a Fortuner, let's be honest. Let me take you on a tour of the Fortuner's cabin. We'll start with the key. It's quite a nice key. It says Fortuner on the back, and it has keyless start. So the start button is over here to the right of the steering wheel. Down here is where you control the engine's driving modes, eco and power. This is the 6-speed automatic gearbox. Here are your 4x4 controls. That's your rotary dial, downhill assist control, and rear diff lock. Just above that is the climate control. It is automatic, but it's not dual zone, so you and your partner will have to fight over your preferred temperature. Just above that is the touchscreen infotainment system. Now it looks quite good, and I like the fact that the buttons are all big and really easy to stab at when you're on the move, but it is quite a simple system. There's no navigation, there's no phone integration with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, there's no app integration either. So it's really just a very fancy, modern looking radio. And then right above that is the world's oldest timekeeping device, a digital clock, which have been in Toyota cars since before I was born. Just to the left though is a dual cubby hole. This one is air conditioned to keep your drinks cool. This one isn't. And then over here we've got the instrument cluster from what looks like a Lexus. It's quite fancy. It's got a center screen in the middle telling me my fuel economy, when my next service is, what radio station is playing, that sort of thing. That's quite nice. I do like it in here, but there are a few things I don't like. All around the gear knob, this is all plastic. It's fake wood and it kind of creaks sometimes on bumpy roads. The handbrake too is also just plastic. And then there are a few little things missing. There are auto headlights, but there aren't auto wipers. And while there is a reverse camera, there's no park distance control. And I think that's a really nice thing to have on a car of this size. You can think of the Fortuner as a spacious station wagon welded to the chassis of a bakkie. And in that sense, it is a very practical car. First off though, the tailgate isn't powered. You'd kind of expect it to be at this price point. And that opens up a very large boot area where we come to one of the more contentious issues around the Fortuner, and that is how the third row of seats folds up against the window. Now, the alternative to this is that you can fit the third row of seats into the floor of the boot, and that's how it is in the Chevrolet Trailblazer and Ford Everest. However, the downside of that is that it loses a lot of height in the boot area. It raises the boot floor quite a lot, and that means you lose a lot of vertical load space. And this is where the Fortuner really shines. It actually offers a hell of a lot of vertical load space. You can throw loads of things in here before you get up to the level of where the back of the seats are. That being said, it can be a bit of a faff to get the seats into place. You have to unclip them, make sure the feet are out, remove this protective rubber strip, and then drop them into place. There we go. But once they're out of the way, we've found that unless you're loading specifically wide items, the chairs in this position actually don't really get in the way at all. There are two little downsides, however. It creates a blind spot on your left and right side, and also if you haven't got them strapped in perfectly, they can bang about a little bit when you're off-roading or on a very bumpy road. There's also the fact that the Fortuner is based on the Hilux, and let's face it, that car has an amazing reputation for reliability. So here with the Fortuner, you're getting the same engine, the same gearbox, and pretty much the same chassis. So there's that peace of mind that comes with buying a car with such a solid reputation. One of the things that comes with buying a Toyota vehicle is access to a massive dealer network. In fact, it's the biggest dealer network in the country, and it's really well managed as well. In fact, in our Cars.co.za consumer survey, Toyota is ranked in the top 5, and that's ranked by you, the public, for after-sales service. So it really does seem like you get great backup, and that just helps have a smooth ownership experience. Over our time with this car, we've really come to admire it for the great package that it is. It offers excellent all-road capability, it's very practical, there's great power and refinement from the engine, and importantly, the cabin has become very refined and luxurious too. And that makes it not only a practical, common sense purchase, but a desirable one too. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below.